Take one. Good afternoon, Pak Oni.
Good afternoon, Dr. Lin.
I have one first question for you. So, as a researcher at BRAIN, how has the agency's unique structure of integrating various scientific bodies and research impacted your own work and research processes?
Yep. So what happened now is actually the integration of various scientific research agency. There were 4 research agency, big research agency, LAPAN, the Indonesian NASA Space Agency, Indonesian Nuclear Agency, LIPI, the research agency, and then the engineering agency for application, BPPT, and there are also other 42 research and development agency which has affiliation with the ministry. There are around 42. They was now under BRAIN, and since their BRAIN merged this and streamline the research process. So as a result, we at BRAIN has broader range of expertise. There are a lot of many people, a lot of expertise, lot of resources, building, lab, and tools and others, and also collaborative opportunity because we have a lot of network, national and international. As a result, so BRAIN is actually potentially can do more things, more complex research, interdisciplinary project, and also can faster the whole process of research and innovation. That is my answer.
Thank you for that answer. It's really clear. As you know, BRAIN has been described by various media outlets as a super agency. Can you share some of the advantages and challenges that you yourself have experienced due to this approach of being a super agency?
Yeah, of course, since this is become a super agency, that your words is, or also what happened in social media, there is always a pro and cons. The pro side or the positive side, it eliminates some redundancy because there are previously a lot of overlapping, and now we can rid off of the redundancy, so improve efficiency. Now we can do together and leverage the strength of different parts or body to achieve common goals or better goals formulation. But however, the challenge lies in harmonizing, because the different group, of course, they have different cultures, they have different priorities. So the transition period is already for 2 years, but it's still continuing. It's not finished yet, even though I think today, this year, is better than what happened in 2021 or 2022, because transformation is continuous process and learning.
So, you mentioned that there were maybe better changes now than prior. And now BRAIN also is the sole national research agency of Indonesia. How does this centralization of research efforts, maybe the things that you have said have happened now more than prior to this year, influence your own direction and focus of your research projects?
So my focus is actually because the group, we have the possibility to move to different groups as long as in our interest. So we are more focused, and at the same time, because there is a culture, transparency culture, that you can work with others. So the collaboration is really an issue now. So we have the possibility to be focused on your field, but at the same time collaborate with others. And that is also some game changing of what we have done, because previously I thought I have a lot of interest, but at the same time, I want to be some niche. But today, you can do that at the same time. You can very niche, let's say in the geospatial research, that might be, or collaborating, because I interest in risk conflict resolution, which can also be applied for other field, meaning in social, in management, also science or engineering. So by saying that, I can say that my research can be more focused and at the same time more collaborative, so that BRIN can enable us to align our research project with the national priority and societal needs. So what people in local government needs, or what ministry in central government needs. This also give opportunity for us to increase the relevance of our research and also the potential impact for the national interest.
That's really clear and coherent way of thinking about the how your current research might influence the future of Indonesia. So can you share some of the most significant projects or research findings that you have been part of during your time at BRAIN? And also how these contributions actually impacted the broader scientific community or society, as you were mentioning just now?
Yep. In the last 1 month, I was assigned as a research coordinator for development of big data in one of the ministry, or name is National Land Administrator. So we have cooperated with the central data, the Pusdatin, Pusat Data dan Informasi of the ministry, and then we visited several kantor wilayah and kantor kota. So we visited their local office and see how they are working with the big data, with the database of land administration, because Indonesia today is 85 million land parcels, and the interest is that within short time they have to increase to 125 million, and the only way to increase that in the short time is using the technology, the big data, which is, for that part, the National Land Administration consulted with us, the BRIN, and since BRIN has a lot of experts, we can enter or dispatch a lot of researchers with various background, but multidisciplinary, to tackle that issue together. And I think we came with some good recommendation on what should be done by the National Land Administration on how they're developing their big data to speed up the process of their land administration, at the same time doing to manage their land administration, at the same time reducing the land tenure conflict. There are a lot of conflict for ownership, and the technology, the there are a lot of technology which is current that can solve this problem: data mining, big data, IoT, or artificial intelligence. And by leveraging our knowledge and our research skill, we can give research-based policy and also research-based problem-solving recommendation for this Pusat Data Informasi, or for this Center for Computing in the Ministry for Land Administration. And this not only contributed to ministry, but it's also provided a model for us that BRAIN can also collaborate with other ministry, and we can also contribute to their problem and solve because we have a lot of resources in terms of expertise, resources, knowledge, and others. So by having this type of collaboration, we can increase our engagement and our contribution to the betterment of society.
Excellent, yeah, that's a great answer. So maybe just reflecting on your own career at Brain, what advice would you give to aspiring researchers who are considering a career at this large integrated research agency like Brain itself?
For aspiring young researchers, I would say at the moment, Brain is the largest government research institution. Probably it's the only one because of the merger wave that we've done in the last 2 years. So this is also the place, the good place for young researchers to join, because we have unparalleled opportunities for learning and growth, meaning most people are PhD level. So even if you're not PhD, you have the opportunity to continue for the study. At the same time, the issue has to be on the frontier, because it's cutting edge project. So at the same time, you have collaborate with national expert within domestic, at the same time with the academia, and for world expert, meaning the foreign counterparts. So we have collaboration with some top expert in various fields and contribute to some of most pressing issue at the moment. So if you are young researcher, this is the good place that you can contribute. At the same time, you will feel good that you can contribute to solve some pressing issue. However, it's important to adapt that, since if you are researchers, the typical researcher at the moment you are more individualistic, but then later you have to develop some collaborative skill, some soft skill, and those type of skill is needed. So you have to be patient, come to one of the research group, and then developing this type of skill so that we can grow together. And this is probably one of the best place for young researcher or academia to join in this country.
Excellent, yeah, sounds really exciting. So any last words for your audience who are watching this podcast?
Yes, even though I said more positive about Brain, but Brain is still what you call just 2 years, and still there is some change, because this is what happened in the research community, in the research ecosystem. So what happened is they cannot see it independently, was influenced by others. In Indonesia, it's really influenced by political and social factor. In Indonesia, currently we're going to have a presidential election and political election. So within 1 year from now, probably there will be some change of direction. Whatever happened, it should be for betterment, meaning for better direction. That's what I hope, and let's still hope and pray that we will have a better and strong research organization in Indonesia that can contribute more to the society and to the nation. I think that's mine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak Muni. Thank you for your last words. Thank you so much.
Thank you.